is my first video. I'm so excited. I've honestly been wanting to do this for so long, and I'm just so excited to be finally here and also to share this build with you. So what we have today is a sort of converted watermill, kind of like old French country watermill into a home. I built this in henford-on-bagley, and I will say always henford-on-bagley, like Berwick upon Tweed, in like the right hand bottom corner of the map. The address is in the left. I did use a photo from Pinterest as my inspiration for the exterior, and I will say that what really drew me to the photo, aside from the watermill aspect, was the fact that you entered the living space from like the first floor. That's just something I find really whimsical about builds. I did at first try and use like platforms and stairs to make it look a bit more organic, but it was just too much hassle. It wasn't really working, so I just stuck with the bog standard staircase with the rotation tools, because otherwise it would have just been a nightmare, and there are enough of those already in this build, so I'm glad I went with that. But yeah, it was kind of, the stiff look isn't really what I wanted. Moving on to the exterior wallpaper though, the photo, like the building in the photo, that had like a really weathered look to it, where there was crumbling stonework fading away, and I wanted to bring that to this build. But as you see here, a lot of the swatches I thought which would work better, their colour tone didn't really fit properly with the sandstone sort of plaster swatch I'd used, and that's why I stuck with the stonework from the university pack. I just thought that despite the harshness of switching between those two, it worked a lot better in terms of tone and colour, so I just thought, why not? And as I went through the build, it did grow on me a lot. I'm doing the roof now, which was a bit of a hassle. It started out okay, but then when it came to the roof trims, which you'll see in a bit, especially this left-hand roof, it got a bit jinky, and it was just, I couldn't figure out how to fix it. My brain was like, you know how to do this, you know there's a way, you know it's possible. But unfortunately I did have to lose the asymmetricality of that larger roof. This is actually my first build in quite a while. One of my first builds with my new gaming setup as well. So I've got like a fully set up computer, PC and everything, which I built myself, but I'll talk about that more in another video. And before I used to use my MacBook, and I used to play a lot, but then I had a little thing to get out of the way first called university. So I did that, and I finished like my undergrad, and during the final years of which I'd actually deleted the game from my MacBook to avoid any potential issues with lost work or being distracted and not doing my work. So now we're back, but that does mean that my brain is a bit like, I don't remember how to do a fair bit of this. Like I really don't remember. I know it's in there, but I don't remember how to fix roofs as easily as I used to be able to. I really had to jog my memory. Jog. But yeah, moving on to windows now. I really wanted to go for that country aesthetic, so I stuck to lattice framework windows. Pretty sure they were from Country Living as well, if not University Pack. But I also wanted to incorporate a really big statement feature on the front, so I went with those more French country kind of shutter windows. I really enjoy the look of it, even though the wood tones don't really match between the two different types of windows. I think the wood tone on the shutters match the watermill wheel well. It's really hard to say. So yeah, even though they don't match, the windows don't match, I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. And now we're moving on to the pond. So like I said, I didn't have The Sims for a while, and that means that a lot of features have actually come out whilst I've not had access to The Sims 4, and that means I'm kind of getting used to some things even though they're not exactly new features to the game anymore. So the pond tool is one of those, and as you can see there, I was struggling on the struggle bus to Frustration Nation, honey, because the water just kept coming and filling it up to a rectangular height. And I had to add it in literally square by square, and sometimes one tool worked and the other tool worked, so I just had to switch back and forth between them. I also had to add the swatch in square by square, but overall we got to a point where it looked nice. The only thing is later on it did get deleted and I had to do it all again with the right hand pull square by square. But yeah, here's the watermill wheel coming in now. I really like the look of it, and you know what, I'm lying, the wood tone on that does not match the shutters at all, but I feel like it goes somehow. So yeah, that's added in, and then I kind of left it poking through the wall there as a sort of feature wall. Originally I was going to go with a layout like that as well, with a little hallway, entryway, but I decided instead let's just make the front door open straight onto the kitchen area. And then as well I was going to have an open plan concept with that left hand space, the L-shaped space, but it gets closed in later on. I actually really struggle with open plan concepts, which maybe is a challenge for future me. So yeah, moving on to the bedroom. My thought process really was with a lot of the rooms was just put down a piece, and then whatever was the predominant colour of that piece of furniture, I used that for the colour palette of the room. So here it's the yellow cabinets, downstairs it was the pink bed, and then in the bathroom I think it was like the floor of the shower caddy was like a lilac colour, so I went with purple, and then with the living room it was a red couch. So but yeah, it really was not much of a thought out process building this this home. It was very much, I was just like, I want to get the video out, I want to do it. I wasn't pressuring myself, I wasn't trying to rush myself, but I just was like, you just do it. Like, don't put too much like stress of, oh, does this look right, does that look right, just do whatever and get the video out, because my approach to this is like, I'm gonna improve with time, with taking screenshots and recording and uploading and editing and everything like that, and that's just something that's going to come naturally. So there's no point stressing about it and making it quote unquote perfect for the first time. But yeah, I feel like this part of the build is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just gonna give you some info on the house maybe. So like I said, I built it in Henford-on-Bagley in the bottom right corner. So I think it is a 20 by 15 tile lot. The build does cost a fair bit of money. It is no way a starter home. It costs, I think, just under 40,000 simoleons. And I did use a lot of packs, if you couldn't tell already. But I did obviously use cottage living, and then I used some dream home decorator, a lot of paranormal stuff, some vampire stuff, really like some cozy knitting kit, whatever it's called, a lot of stuff from all over the place. Like I said, there wasn't much like, this is what we're gonna do, it was just build the house. So I didn't really limit myself at all. I just wanted the freedom to explore creatively with building this build. And I really just went for it, not like pulling out all the stops, but just like not second guessing myself, went for it, you know? And overall I'm really glad with how it turned out. I'm really happy with the exterior. Admittedly, I think there are some things in the interior I could tweak, but I'm really happy with the look of it. I think it looks good. I think it's like the right amount of clutter for the energy level I had, and also for like my first build. So I think, yeah, I'm not like a maximalist clutter gal. I do just kind of do like enough to make it look lived in, or, you know, aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, overall, like, I am quite happy with what I've done. And you can see me jumping back and forth between a lot of rooms. It's because I would see an item, I'd place it down, and then I would go back to that room and start tweaking it, and then do so, or like just jump around and stuff. There really was no rhyme or reason to my interior decorating in this build. But yeah, so we're on the well, we were on the balcony, now we're on the garden. Like I said, this build has got a lot of packs in it, so that also means it's quite good, I think, at skill building. So we've got the cozy knitting, like cross stitch and weaving, whatever it was, the easel, we've got a music box in the living room later on, so you can obviously listen to music and dance. There's obviously cooking, there's a chessboard in the bedroom, there's reading, and then there's also the gardening patch outside. So I think even though this build is a bit pricey, it would be good if you wanted to have like a good skill building home. There isn't a TV. I was really averse to putting one in, because I just I don't like that when you're playing and your sim just goes on TV or the phone or the computer. It really frustrates me. And I do say this as someone who will just watch TV instead of reading. Maybe that's why I'm like projecting my dissatisfaction with my own life into my sims, but hey ho. Yeah, so we're doing some terrain painting now, just making everything look a bit more natural, and it does take me a while when I'm terrain painting the second pond to realise, oh, the water's gone. And then later on I completely rejig the entire thing, so it does change a bit of shape, which I'm sad to have lost the original shape because I was quite happy with that, but I'm glad there's a pond still, because I was going to delete it and I was just like, oh, I can't deal with it anymore. But with these vines, so with the wisteria I put up, I was also going to originally use more of the ivy from Cottage Living as a cover up for the patchwork stone / plaster swatches I'd used, but then I just decided it would probably be too much, and I didn't want to cover up the wallpaper I'd been using too much, so I just stuck with like the patchwork look, and then like you see on the inside here of my feature wall, did I mention that I kept it as a feature wall, the wheel clipping through, and I didn't realise that it moves, so that's like, I guess maybe slightly unrealistic, because obviously it's like encased in stone, but in a real world the water wheel would move, so I kept it. But yeah, like you can see on the inside there with that feature wall, I've kept just the University Pack stonework as a sort of like, this is what the wall looked like, and then it fades into just, you got to use your imagination a little bit with that patchwork, so but yeah, I think the other thing that I found really hard with this build was just remembering everything you had to have to make it a functional build. I remember the toilet paper before the dustbins or the post box, so you know, I'm just going to sip my coffee. Sorry if you heard that. But yeah, so yeah, that it was really like, it's just like really jogging my memory. This whole build was very much like, what do we need? How do we build? But overall, yeah, like I said, I think it turned out really well. But it is a bit chaotic. Like I can see now watching it, it's so chaotic. I think we're moving on to the living room now, where I pick out the 3-seater paranormal stuff pack couch, and at first I was going to have it like that and have the open plan, but then I was just like, I don't know what to do, because even though I don't want a TV, I do need something for the couch to be centering on, whether it's a view, a fireplace, a TV, a piece of art, I don't know. I just need like something for the couch to be staring at, which is very weird and silly, because obviously for most of the time that we've had couches, we haven't had TVs, but that's how my brain works. So Yeah. And then you do see me now, like I've sectioned off the hallway. I'm a bit not happy with how large the hallway is, admittedly, but I didn't know how else to cut it off without having a really awkward shaped living space, because I could have bumped along the 2 tiles of wall, like bumped that along 2 tiles, but then I would have had just a really large shape and I wouldn't have known what to do with it. But hey ho, it's done now, and I'm still like, I'm happy with it, even though I'm like, that's a ludicrously capacious amount of hallway space. So, but maybe in the future I'll renovate this build at some point and it'll look better. That's the other thing, is like focusing on the exterior then makes me realize how like little space, or how awkward the space inside is. I mean, this works, but obviously if I had focused on what the interior is going to look like first, then it would have been a lot easier to decorate and have the space to include maybe more. But then I guess I would have ended up with like 100,000 simoleon build. So it is, but it is. Yeah. I also realised that the chimney was on the completely wrong side of the house for the fireplace when I added that in. So I got rid of the 3-seater, added in a 2-seater so that the manoeuvrability of this room was easier for a sim, and then had the fireplace as like the focal point. And yeah, I realised that the chimney was just on the completely wrong side of the house, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's really intricate pipework or something, maybe. And then couldn't handle that, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna add a small chimney in, and I did that instead. So the massive fireplace has a very small chimney, and the kitchen that doesn't have a fireplace has a very large chimney. But who knows, maybe it's like the old chimney from when they used to have a firewood stove or something. Keeping it real for you guys. Yeah. So you just saw me put like the easel down, so all those skill building items are in, and now I'm just going on a clutterfest, just putting like random magazines and everything. I just used the 9 key for that. I do miss the red shelf. I used to use that a lot. I should download it again, but I just haven't. I just haven't. I did download a bunch of building CC, like Harry CC and stuff, like Felix Andre and stuff like that, and the Organic pack and stuff, because I really enjoy those, and I want to get more into Cass CC as well, but that's another day, another dollar type of business. Here I'm just putting out the curtains, and I mainly went with the paranormal stuff pack ones and the country living ones, and then I've got these ones which I guess are a little bit simpler, a little bit easier on the eyes in the bedroom, where it's a lot more neutral. I like the bedroom. I think the bedroom is my favourite room because it's so simple. I didn't even realise that bedside table was pink. Wow. It's all coming together. But I think, yeah, the bedroom's probably my favourite room. And then I just love the kitchen. I just adore it because it's so like yellow and warm, and it's so full of sunshine. I love how the sunlight comes through the lattice work windows. And I would love that. I'd love that if that were my favorite like entrance into a house. It'd be so cool. And on the first floor as well. Living the dream. But yeah, I would say like my energy was really lacking though as I went through this build, because I was like using all my mental energy to be like, how do we do this? And I was just slapping things in, like that painting of the violins was just like, there's a music box in here. Violin painting, it works. Now I'm going to like change all the colours of the railing and everything, and like fix up the terrain paint. So we're coming to the end of the build. There were like 3 sort of aesthetics I was going for with this, which was country, like cottagecore, French country, like French chateau vibes, and then also a bit of rundown energy. So I feel like I've brought that in with attempted to bring it in rather with the patchwork, and then I also get the debug broken fences from the cottage living debug menu, and I put those around the border of the lot. This was when I started rifling through debug, I believe, which you'll see in a minute. It was like a mad dash, just be like, there's got to be something, I just got to add something to this build that is going to be a finishing touch, and the finishing touch was mushrooms. Don't know why, those I just thought they were like a good fit, and I went with it. So I end up putting like a little very neat line of mushrooms along the side of the house there, in between the pond and the house on the right, which I guess fits. It works, right? Biologically, mushrooms would grow there. Attention to detail is major. But yeah, so if you do want to download this build, it is in the gallery. My ID is Xanthi_444, so Xanthi_444, and I might put the tray files, if I figure out how to do that, in the description box, as well as my username and like my Instagram and everything. But yeah, that really is the build. I have play tested it as well, so it's fully functioning. I've got rid of things that were in the way, so it does fully works, and I'm pretty sure the lot size I used is the smallest one, 20 by 15, so you could place it literally anywhere. And the address is, like I said, in the top left if you need to know where to place it exactly. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this, really enjoyed making the video. I'm looking forward to hearing all your thoughts, and to also seeing you next time. I'm thinking of doing some like maybe 10-minute build challenges and stuff, and some start at home stuff, just to get some videos out and make it a bit easier for me, but also so it's like a bit easier for everyone else as well, because then you have like just base game, maybe builds, it's a lot easier to download. But yeah, so that's it. Now onto the screenshots, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!